Ladies and gentlemen, Bill Armstrong.
Of course, Bill Armstrong is the most incredible audio engineering pioneer in Australia.
While I was at school, I built a disc cutting machine, which is very cumbersome. And then in 1949, I bought a wire recorder.
This is the first wire recorder that I bought, and I bought tape machines and other bits and pieces, and ultimately collected a fair amount of equipment to go out and record bands.
History was recorded on that recorder by Bill, with Sir Robert Menzies opening the Shell oil refinery at Geelong, and the first audio recordings of proceedings in the Victorian Law Courts. And of course, his great lifetime friend, Smacker Fitzgibbon.
And Dad was always playing music. When they had these kind of jam sessions happening, people would come, and Bill Armstrong just trundled along with his little setup and recorded all these crazy parties, and then he released an album.
Everything I taught myself. There wasn't anywhere to learn these things.
And of course our first recording session was with Bill Armstrong at Telefilm, which was just ahead of him starting Bill Armstrong Studios.
And in the back of my mind, the best thing I could have would be to have a house where I could sort of build a big studio underneath it, so I didn't have to cart gear anywhere.
Bill Armstrong Proprietary Limited was formed, and out of a small terrace house at 100 Albert Road, South Melbourne, came the giant turning point in Bill's life.
Pretty much every single that got on the charts in Melbourne that was recorded in Melbourne seemed to have been done there.
I can remember, this pokey little bloody, terrace house.
The first real recording that I'd done in that new era that I was a part of was at the old Armstrong Studio.
I remember Bill wore a grey dust coat and a white shirt and tie underneath, because they were engineers, they were called recording engineers.
Enter 1972, and Bill again took out another sizable mortgage.
Yeah, all of a sudden it was AAV complex. It was a big building.
I still call it Armstrong's. People are like Metropolis or AAV, whatever. It's Armstrong's to me.
Everybody seemed to record here, everybody, because there was such a great time in music, if you play 3 chords, you could work 5 nights a week.
By modern day standards, listening to stuff now 35 years later, mate, it ain't half bad.
Because he used to love to play with microphones, and Bill would bring in, try this microphone,
It was just monster sounds.
He'd come out and he'd go, "How's it going, boys?" "Yes, very interesting." "Yeah, good to see you, Russell." "Yep." And then he'd be gone.
AAV, going right back to Bill Armstrong Studios, through AAV, through Metropolis, it's just been part of our lives. Everything from moving pictures to Australian Crawl to Little River Band, Roderick Smith. It goes back, Studio Echo, real life. It's always been here.
Armstrong's having been the home of my many incarnations as a performing artist.
1974 came along quickly, and Bill cashed in his prized sound house. It is now 1978, and Bill Armstrong wasn't about to play golf for the rest of his life. He set up and ran the technical and studio facilities of training a new team at SBS. In 1979, the new buzzword happening in the radio circles was FM radio.
The first commercial stereo FM radio station in Australia.
I knew when little Bill Armstrong and my adorable Tony Staley, who insisted on giving us the licence without any remuneration whatsoever.
It was a highly successful business with handsome rewards when sold to 2MMM Sydney in 1986. 1992, a new series of jazz albums appeared in record stores across Australia. The Bill Armstrong Collection continues to this day.
And I have such a history with Bill.
And Bill was always a music fan, was always around, was always supportive.
I saw Bill a couple of months ago, and he's an amazing man.
Because I love Bill, and he knew I loved him, and he still does, and I still do.
Lovely man, real gem of a man.
Beautiful man.
The fundamental things apply as time goes by. And when two lovers woo, they still say I love you, on that you can rely. No matter what the future brings as time goes by.